nice to have the chance to interview you about marriage. Because I got married on January 24th of this year.
Congratulations.
So I am really interested in the topic. So maybe today I will ask you more about the wedding section. For example, the first questions. Can you tell us the whole procedures of your wedding ceremony?
I can tell you about my wedding. My wedding was quite different to a normal British wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but the average amount that a couple spends in the UK on their wedding is something like £20,000.
£20,000.
£20,000, £20,000 to £25,000.
Yeah.
I spent a lot less than that on my wedding. And actually what was interesting about my wedding is that I planned the whole wedding in a week. I saw a dress on the internet.
Yeah.
And then my friend said, I can make the dress for you.
Yeah.
So together we went into Brighton and we bought the material to make the dress. She didn't have a pattern to follow. She just made the dress from nothing.
Yeah.
I ordered normally what you would do, you would spend a long time, possibly with a wedding planner, planning every detail of your wedding.
Yeah.
Favours, which are little gifts for the guests, the food, the venue, the service. Well, for me and my husband, the most important thing for us was the vows, what we would say to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So we chose a song, which means a lot to us.
So what's the name of the song?
The song is Greatest Day by Take That. Oh, it's a beautiful song. I'll maybe you can find it on YouTube. Okay. And that's the song that I walked down the aisle to, but we didn't have our wedding in the church. We had it in a registry office, so it wasn't a religious wedding, but it was a legal wedding. The dress I told you about, my friend made it for me.
Yeah.
I tried on some dresses that cost £5,000, but my dress cost £50.
Wow.
So it's a big saving. The flowers I ordered over the phone, so I didn't go to see the flowers or anything like that. We had our meal in a pub afterwards, so we just went for a pub meal. People had fish and chips, or burgers, or just very relaxed food. And then most people have a party in the evening in the UK, so they get a DJ or a band or both, and they have dancing and games. Well, my husband and I were very lucky, and we went to a hotel, which a friend paid for, a beautiful 5-star hotel, and we went there, we opened all of our wedding presents and our cards, we had sandwiches at 12 o'clock at night, we watched a children's movie, and then we went to sleep.
So you mean the wedding day, you went to the hotel?
Yes.
What kind of people will you invite to your wedding?
That's a really good question, thank you. We decided to keep the wedding very small, so we only had immediate family, so parents, siblings, and one grandparent. And I invited 3 or 4 friends, and Nigel invited 3 or 4 friends. So I think in total we had 33 people at the wedding.
Oh, so you make it very small.
We kept it really small.
Okay, so after the wedding ceremony, will you have a honeymoon in other country?
Yes, we did have a honeymoon.
Where?
We went to Italy. Now, my husband and I are both cyclists, and we both love cycling. And I found a holiday on the internet, a week cycling in Italy, and it was actually 2 months after the wedding. So 2 months later, our honeymoon came, and we went cycling for a week.
For a week?
It was fabulous.
Romantic.
Yeah, romantic and hard work, and hot, but
happy, very happy.
it was so happy. And Italy is a beautiful country. It's very green. The people are wonderful, and the food was just delicious. So,
I have no honeymoon.
Oh.
When it's it's my wedding, it's the time for the students to take part in the final exam. So I can only ask for 3 days off for my wedding. So I have no honeymoon. I think it's really a pity.
That is a pity.
You can make one maybe after you go back. Yeah.
Well,
It's not too late to have a honeymoon.
But the school doesn't allow me to have a leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I have to do that in my summer holiday or winter holiday with my husband. And another question is concerned about the money. Who will pay the money for the wedding? In China, boys pay money.
So
this wedding
the husband, the groom,
Yeah,
pays
the
for it.
husband.
It's quite different in the UK and also in America. I don't know about the rest of Europe, but I was very lucky because my father paid for the wedding. Now, most people that I know, that's what happens. The bride's father or the bride's parents pay for the wedding. So it's actually the opposite of what happens in China.
Yeah. So if the if you have to pay the money, suppose some girls' family are not so rich. They don't have something to marry to the boy. So what they have to do?
Well, I think you have to adjust the wedding, and you have to decide that we're not going to have, the ice cream van, or we're not going to have the horse riding, or we're going to make it a little bit cheaper. I won't get the £5,000 dress. But unfortunately, my sister's friend got married about 7 months ago, and their wedding cost them £25,000. And 6 months later, they got divorced.
Wow.
So they went into debt for their wedding.
Oh.
They paid for it on credit cards or just with overdraft from their bank or getting a bank loan. And
It's really a pity.
I think that a lot of people in the UK get very caught up in their mind in the perfect wedding, the big day. It's called your big day.
Yeah.
And people fantasize about it. They dream about it for years. They create their perfect day, and the woman, the bride, often becomes we call it bridezilla. Bridezilla, she becomes like a monster. I don't want the pen like that. I want it like this. No, that's the wrong colour paper. I said white. That's not white. So people get very controlling. And that was not what I wanted to do for my wedding. Me and my husband wanted a very simple wedding where you really could feel how much we love each other.
Yeah, and just now you talked about that your wedding is not the normal British wedding. Can you say something about the normal British wedding?
Yeah.
That is held in the church. What's the procedures?
Okay. So there's two types. There's in the registry office or in a church. And basically what happens is it depends on how big the venue is. As I've already explained, you have the service, the ceremony, and then later you have the party. So first you invite people to come to your service, and they would be your most important people. You might have 30 people, like we did. You might have 50, you might have 100, it could be 200 people. It depends on the church. And then the bride will, the groom must arrive first. And that's what we did at our wedding. It's very bad luck if the groom sees the bride on the wedding day before the service. So they sleep in different places the night before. I stayed with my friend. And then the groom will wait, and all the guests will come in and sit down. Now the groom has a best man, and that best man is usually his best friend or a close friend, and he will be supporting him throughout the day. So if the groom feels nervous or upset, then the best, don't worry, calm down. The groom, will she come? Yes, she's going to come, don't worry. And they all have the same flower in their buttonhole, so it's called a buttonhole flower or just a buttonhole. And then the bride will walk down the aisle, da 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 da, da 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 da, and they do the wedding march. And she'll usually have a beautiful dress with a train, a long piece of material at the back. And now if you see on the internet, if you look for Prince William and Kate Middleton, look for their wedding, her dress was
very long.
beautiful. So the bride will have her bridesmaids, her friends, who are supporting her and holding flowers. And then sometimes some flower girls who will throw flower petals on the floor.
How about children? Will children throw
That would be the
flowers?
children throwing the flower petals. And then maybe some page boys, some young boys. I don't quite know what their job is, but they look very smart in their suits. And then you have the service, you have readings from family members. The person leading the service will say all the legal words that need to be said. You start, the bride will wear her engagement ring on this finger, on the left finger, but on the wedding night, she'll take it off the night before or in the morning and put it on the other hand.
This is the
So,
engagement ring.
It's the engagement ring. It's usually a diamond. In the service, the bride and the groom put the ring onto the other person's finger. And that's why the bride wears it on the other hand. I only learned that on my wedding day, so that you can change over, put the ring on top.
You put two rings together.
And quite often on an anniversary, you get a third ring, an eternity ring, to show that our love is forever. So it's really nice. And people often have, I don't know if you do it in China, do you wear rings?
We only wear
One
one
ring.
exchange one ring.
Do you have an engagement ring which you change, or
The thing.
it's
Maybe
the same
in
one?
some places.
Maybe in different fingers.
Okay. And people often get their ring engraved, so they get a special word or their names carved into, engraved into the ring. We didn't do that.
Okay,
Um,
you have to swear touching the Bible, right?
No, that's in when you go to court.
Oh.
I swear to tell the whole truth. No, I don't think you do in a religious wedding, because I've been to a couple. And people, often what happens is, even if you're not religious, people choose to have their wedding outside. But there's a special law in England which says that you must get married under some kind of ceiling. So if you have your wedding outside, you have to go onto a band stand, like an area for bands to play, because it has a ceiling. You cannot just do it outside in a park or something.
What's the reason?
It's just the law.
Oh, it's just a law.
It's just the law. It has to be under a ceiling. But people often hire a beautiful big country house, for example, and then they will get married there and have the whole weekend with their friends and family to have a party. The first meal after your wedding is called the wedding breakfast, but it's not in the morning. It's a strange thing, because you break the fast. So you have this meal together. And then the bride and groom will cut the cake together. So they both hold the knife, cut the cake, and make a wish. And then people throw rice or confetti
And
over them.
do you drink?
People drink champagne.
Champagne?
Yeah.
I mean, you and your husband exchange your drink.
No, we don't. That's not a tradition, actually, where you wrap your arm around.
Yeah.
No, it's not a typical tradition. I think you can do it, but we didn't do that.
So, yeah.
Oh, and then I forgot to tell you about one of the most beautiful moments of my wedding was when the speeches during the meal. So everybody eats their food, and usually after the main course and before the dessert, you get somebody gets a fork and a glass. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody goes quiet.
Yeah.
And then the father of the bride will stand up and he will make a speech. And he will just talk about his daughter and what he remembers about her and how proud he is of her, and he will welcome the husband into the family. It's beautiful. And then the best man, who's supporting the groom, will stand up and he will make a speech about the groom. And he will tell stupid stories about the groom to embarrass him. So you get some very funny stories and funny jokes as well.
And you kiss each other in the
Yeah,
wedding.
you kiss in the wedding, and then you kiss for the rest of your life.
Okay. And how many dresses do you have for your wedding usually?
That's a really good question.
Yes. You said just now only one dress.
I had just one dress. Most women probably can... It's okay. Most women can probably afford only one dress.
Yeah.
But I know, for example, in Japan, they have two dresses as a minimum, sometimes three. And I think if you were very, very rich, you might change your dress in the evening for the dancing. But most people just one dress. 5 dresses.
Yeah, we
I
have
have
5.
3.
3 dresses.
That's because we have we have 3, 5, or 7, something like that. But include the sleeping clothes, we add together 7. But for the clothes, we can wear out with our friends 5.
Wow, that's amazing.
A different traditions.
Amazing.
Yeah, and